Alhamdulillah Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala rasulihil ameen. A'udhu billahi minash shaitanir rajim. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. My dear brothers and sisters, assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuhu. In our Ramadan series, Prophetic Prayers in the Quran, we'll inshallah discuss one of these prayers by the Prophet. Bismillahir rahmanir rahim. وَقُلْ رَبِّ ادْخِلْنِي مُدْخَلَ صِدْقٍ وَأَخْرِجْنِي مَخْرَجَ صِدْقٍ وَاجْعَل لِّي مِن لَّدُنكَ سُلْطَانًا نَصِيرًا. And say, My Lord, lead me in through an entry of truth, and lead me out through an exit of truth, and grant me from you a supporting power. Prophet ﷺ delivered his message for 13 years in the city of Mecca and its surroundings. Only few believed in his message, and most of them called him a liar, a poet, a sorcerer. But when these methods didn't work, the chiefs of Quraysh made a scheme to kill the Prophet ﷺ. He had lost his biggest support in Mecca, his uncle Abu Talib, who had passed away. And the neighboring big city of Taif also rejected his message. So when the Meccans wanted to expel the Prophet forcibly, or even worse, planned to kill him, Allah commanded the Prophet to migrate to Medina. This was the most difficult time for the Prophet ﷺ, with very few well-wishers left in Mecca, the city that he loved, and now he has to leave to a new place. If it would be anyone else would lose his faith, going through these extreme difficulties and hardships. But at that time, he's asked by Allah to pray this dua. رب ادخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا. Allah says him to ask that, O Allah, you make me enter that city of Medina in a sincere manner, being on truth, and make me exit the city of Makkah in a sincere manner, being on truth. Because staying on truth is the most difficult thing to do, especially in the midst of threats and dangers. Some Mufassirin have also suggested that this dua is asked to pray in reference to entry into grave at death, being on truth, and the exit refers to exit from the grave on the day of resurrection. But most agree with the previous interpretation which I shared, that is entering Medina and exiting Makkah. Prophet was asking Allah to keep him on truth. Also, because in the same ayah he is instructed to pray for authority to help him in establishing the religion of Islam and aid him in overcoming his opponents. And we see this is how Allah answered his prayer. In Medina, the Prophet acquired the social and political authority to establish a society guided by Quranic principles. And it was from Medina that he was eventually able to establish Islam in the whole of Arabia. This powerful dua has the results we see even to this day, that we have more than 1 billion Muslims following Islam and the message that Prophet ﷺ delivered. This ayah came in Surah Isra, and the very next ayah mentions the result as well. Victory of this truth that Prophet ﷺ was asked to stay on while exiting Mecca and entering Medina. Within few years, he establishes Islam in Mecca, getting rid of the idol worshippers and false religion. وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلُ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. And say, the truth has come and falsehood has withered away, disappeared. For falsehood is bound to wither away. Prophet ﷺ, when given the victory of Makkah, he repeated this verse continuously as he smashed the idols surrounding the Kaaba. وَقُلْ جَاءَ الْحَقُّ وَزَهَقَ الْبَاطِلُ إِنَّ الْبَاطِلَ كَانَ زَهُوقًا. Truth refers to one reality. Allah is the reality, whereas falsehood refers to all other false deities who are ever subject to annihilation and will eventually vanish. This is the promise of Allah. In extreme difficulty, when our Iman, faith is shaking, during the difficult trials that we have to face, it's recommended that we ask Allah's help and pray such dua of Prophet. رب ادخلني مدخل صدق وأخرجني مخرج صدق واجعل لي من لدنك سلطانا نصيرا, so that we also hold on to the truth, don't lose our faith, and keep the light of Iman in our heart. That is the only guidance, and that is the only way of prosperity and success in this life and the hereafter. Ameen. Wassalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh.